Welcome to Digimon.
Hello and welcome to Digimon and welcome to Jank Tank 9. Jank Tank is back again with more janky stuff going on, and we're in for a good time. This is another good tournament. I'm filming this before the tournament, so I can obviously give a good reflection of the decks that are going on without knowing how they did. But first, of course, let's go over some of our housekeeping. So there are no changes to the rule set this time around, so we'll just do a general reminder of the rule set for Jank Tank. Rule number 1. No decks from the tier 1, 1.5 or tier 2 parts of our lovely tier list, voted on by ourselves and the viewers of the channel, can be used. Only decks which are in rogue tier or jank tier can be used, so nothing else can be used at all. It is only those two tiers that are usable. Rule number 2. You are not allowed to use any meta engines in this kind of format. So what I mean by that is, of course, is you're not allowed to kind of abuse a much better engine to, you know, to then capitalize on your kind of lesser known jankier cards. So for example, you can't use the Galaxy Loop, for example, because that is still meta even after the ban list. You know, and you can't use the Dark Animal engine because, you know, that's still somewhat used in meta-relevant decks. So it's kind of that sort of stuff. Anything that's kind of, like, if you're using like a tier 2 engine, you know, maybe, although I say that, I think Galaxy, Galaxy, one of the examples I gave, is in tier 2, so maybe not. But yeah, that is that rule, so there's no meta engines. The reason we brought that in was back in Jank Tank 6, someone may have used a red hybrid engine to make Skullmaramon broken, so we brought that rule in. Then the third rule is that we cannot use the 4 following cards, which are essentially kind of our 4 musketeers: BT9 Death Examon, BT12 Quartzmon, EX4 Shine Greymon Ruin Mode, and EX8 Medieval Gallantmon. All 4 of those cards are not allowed in the format, because all of them are kind of unbearable in this format, where a lot of the decks can't deal with their kind of sheer board wiping capabilities and board controlling capabilities, so therefore we decided to ban those. There are other cards we've always considered banning, so if there are other cards you think should be banned from our format, let us know in the comments below. But let's also take a quick look at our tier list that we did. 65 people voted on this, which is crazy. I mean, that's the most amount of people we've ever had vote on this. The only issue is over 40 of those people did not log in to log their votes. So technically, only 24 people voted. But do you know what? That's still really good. I don't mind. That's people in our team. There's about 12 of us in our group. So we've literally doubled the votes, from our group. So that's awesome. Now, there have been some changes, of course, since we did this tier list. We did this tier list ages ago, back at the beginning of kind of the 2.5 format, kind of in the lead up to it, in fact. So this was very much kind of looking at theory crafting and looking at what we could of the Japanese meta at the time, which we won't be able to do on the next tier list. But stuff like Fenrir Lugamon, that is possibly no longer tier 1 because of obviously the Fenrir Lugamon from BT17 being limited, so that's no longer there. Purple Hybrid probably isn't tier 1 anymore. They're all still going to be probably decks which are too good for the jank tier stuff, but that is there. Then something else we have kind of looked into, and spoilers for 2 of the decks which are going to be in Jank Tank. Obviously, I won't spoil the lists just yet. We'll look at those separately. But we've got 2 decks which, on the average rating, are in rogue tier, so thus are legal, but in a most votes, so if we were doing the tier list based on most votes, they would actually be tier 2. And we're wondering whether or not we need to go to a system of most votes to essentially kind of get a more accurate read of the tier list. Because back when it was just our group, the reason why we went for average rating is it got rid of any bias that certain people had. So, if someone, say, I don't know, hates all red decks and they put all red decks in tier 1, then everyone else's average votes would then kind of knock that down a peg. But saying that, most votes would also do that and stuff like that. But essentially, the 2 decks in question are Examon which is going to be in this tournament. Which, as you can see, most of the votes were, it was close, 8-7, but a couple of people have put it in Jank tier, and that's why it ended up in Rogue tier, is there. And then the other one is, where is it, there it is, GigaSeadramon. So this, again, most votes were in tier, were tier 2, one person actually voted it in tier 1.5, but then the majority of, the average majority, put it in Rogue tier and Jank tier, so that ended up putting it down that way. So these two, if we'd gone on a most votes system, would be in tier 2. So I'll just switch over to the most votes version of the list. So if I then go for tier 2, there's Examon right there, and then there is GigaSeadramon right there. So these guys could be possibly too powerful for the other decks. Obviously, you have to wait and see when we get around to the tournament. They might not be. I mean, I've beaten Examon online with my deck that I'm using. So my list is absolutely within the bounds of the Rogue tier and Jank tier. So, you know, who knows? But let us know in the comments if you guys think we should move to a system of most votes. I mean, for example, if you're voting for, you know, a president, you know, then it's not based on the average votes, is it? It's based on your most votes, you know. But yeah, let us know what you guys think about that, whether or not we need to go to a most votes system, or if we want to keep the average rating system. Now, let's go away from this list, because obviously we could be here all day looking at this list, you know, and let's take a look at the 8 decks that will be taking part in Jank Tank 9. So, our first list for Jank Tank 9 is this one, and I'm kind of calling it Gankoo Rush, or Red Puppet Rush, or Sister Rush. That last one, maybe not a great name, but you can bet your ass if it's got Sister Mod stuff in it, if it's got JASMon stuff in it, and if it's got Puppet stuff in it. It is a Beardy Dan list, and this is Beardy Dan's list for Jank Tank 9. Now, the things it's kind of looking to do in here is using the power of the Gankoomon from BT20 to essentially kind of play itself out, digivolve up into the Gankoomon X's or the JASMon GX, and just go to town. There's a lot of kind of, you know, really cool things it can do with it. It can give blocker and reboot to all of the Systemons, who in turn can get the draw powers and have decoy, and you know, lots of little tools available to it. It's got a nice generic kind of red engine with the Huckmon stuff, which you can technically use to digivolve up with using your kind of Gankoomon effect. Just obviously it's not going to go up to save your Huckmon or JASMon, because true JASMon obviously is not usable in this tourney, but something like this where it's using just the Gankoomon stuff, I would say it is, and no one's had any problems with it thus far, so therefore it's legal. If you don't like it, let me know. Next list is Examon, so one of our contentious tier 2 lists, and this is Charles's Examon list. So this one is surprisingly spooky. The Examon Ace is a terrifying card, as you might have seen, and I'm going to drop it again in a video, because I always drop it in a video, and it was really fun. It was the DU Deck Build Challenge. Dane actually used kind of Examon Ace to great effect in that, and it was a real pain in my ass. But you know, Examon Ace can do a hell of a lot. It can pop deck stuff, it can unsuspend a lot, which means it gets a lot of checks. You've got security attack pluses from the inheritables of the Wingdramon, for example. You've got Tamer Hate in this. It's fairly consistent. You know, it does need an end of turn DNA, which is actually getting in BT21 with the Dracomon X, so you know, which is pretty exciting, you know, for Charles, no one else, but you know, it is a really cool list. He's gone for the blue Babydamon egg instead of the I think it's is it a new red one? I think it's a new red egg, or is it an old red egg? Old red egg? I can't remember, but he's gone for that egg. Jade Memories for the consistency, Unleash the Dragon to play stuff out, and yeah, it's just a bit of a scary deck. I have beaten it with my deck online, not Charles's build, and playing in real life is always different to playing on a simulator, I find. So this is going to be a very scary deck to go up against for the majority of us. Next is Chris's. Now, Chris is technically playing a tier 2 deck, because Pyramidimon actually was originally in Rogue tier back in Jank Tank 8, but got voted up in Jank Tank 9 because more and more people are doing its kind of OTK stuff. However, we have always done a soft rule for any people that really, you know, don't have any other decks to play, or, you know, maybe don't have one that's, you know, it's kind of borderline whether or not it's rogue tier or tier 2, we kind of allow it. And in Chris's case, this is the only deck he's got. We're not going to turn him away. And the fact is, it's not changed since the last time. Last time it was legal, so why the hell isn't it legal this time? You guys voting this deck up when maybe you well, I mean, technically you should. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. It's borderline, like I say. But you know, this is Chris's list. It's not changed since last time. Looking to use the Pyramidimon to do lots of attacking stuff, lots of reboot, lots of blocker stuff. A couple little texts from the starter deck. Not bad at all. Next one is looking at Dane's one. Obviously not Dane. Our Dane, because there's two Danes, two digital Danes in the world on opposite sides of the planet, which is quite funny. But he's bringing Shakamon. So Shakamon is a pretty cool archetype that was a kind of came about in EX6, using a lot of these dudes here, kind of referencing Journey to the West. It's got a lot of Sec minor stuff, hence we've got Venusmon in this and Shakamon. You know, so it's pretty spooky. He's got a red base, so he's got the Muchomon to get draw, Koromon Egg, obviously, the Ukomon to help with that, and actually the Enso, Nightmare Soldier's Candlemon, because it will just, you know, in theory, smack itself into security, get deleted and give him a memory. You know, it's got Crimson Blaze as well, which I'm scared of Crimson Blaze because that shuts off my entire deck. So I do not want to be in that card. It's cool. Valkyrimon's going to be pretty tough as well. This is a pretty hardcore list, not gonna lie. The Regiludamon is in here, which I think you can kind of tuck underneath your other level 5s. I think to gain some protection effects. I think I could be wrong. This is the issue of me doing it like this, where it's like an image, because I can't always read the cards on screen to help me out when my memory is not working. So I might switch to how we do our deck profiles with Jank Tank and kind of get text lists of everything and just import them into Digimon Card App. But yeah, that is Dane's list. It's pretty spooky. Next is Editor Dan, and Editor Dan, as is tradition, every Jank Tank he has ever appeared in, he is playing D-Linkz. I don't think there's really been many changes with it since last time, other than, of course, the new Hina promo. So it's going to get up to a lot of its kind of usual shenanigans. He's still got the Ragnarmon Ace tech in there, which, personally speaking, I have never seen him pull it off personally. I'm sure others in the group have. I have not seen him pull it off. But Copium is a powerful thing. So, you know, this is, you know, his list, and well, D-Linkz could potentially, you know, be looking to take it. You know, eventually, when he does finally with it, I don't know what he's going to do. Frankly, you know, I guess he'll never play again. You know, but who knows? But yeah, that is D-Linkz. Next list is my list. So this is my JumboDillo list. Now I was really stuck on what deck to bring to Jank Tank 9. I had 3 choices. I was going to go over Pulsemon Tribal because that's in Rogue tier. Green Gacha, because I've been really enjoying tinkering around with that deck. I've made some more tinkers with that since our last deck profile as well on that. So I was really tempted to build that. But I ultimately decided on going JumboDillo because I've had this deck built in in the format since BT16. Obviously before then I was just playing it as Jumbo Gamemon. But since BT16 I have had JumboDillo built, and I've been tinkering with it and changing it every now and again. We used to use Chaosmon as our top in that, done away with those, they're now in Axel now. You know, and now we're using a Deep Savers top. So the really cool thing about Jumbo Gamemon and Metal Seadramon is both of them are blue and both of them are black, which means you could use either of them for the DNA conditions of Aegistramon, because it requires a blue and a purple, blue slash a purple, and a black and slash a yellow. So you could use them just as DNA and then play out your Metal Seadramon and do that. It's really funny. It's not, I don't really pull it off that much, you know, but when we do, it's really fucking funny. We've got the Zubagon Punch in here, which, to be fair, I've asked to borrow those from Alex, but Alex is not technically making it to this tournament. So if he doesn't, these could be 2 copies of Beast Cyclone instead, because I don't have any Zubagon Punch, and I don't know if they'll have any at the shop. They might do. So if they do, I'll scrounge and find those. But they could be 2 copies of Beast Cyclone when I actually kind of get round to the tournament. But we've got the CPM Memory Boost. Now, the CPM Memory Boost isn't technically needed because, you know, everything in this list is black. So we're not searching yellows now. The reason it kind of worked well was because we used to play Valkyrie on Ace. Whereas everything now is black. But The reason I've still gone for it is purely because of our egg, because this can meet, its requirements are met by yellow. So the issue of using like a defense training or something like that, you can't always activate it because your egg is yellow. So the CPU member boost just helps us kind of unbrick ourselves a little bit if we've not found a rookie. So that is there. But yeah, lots of D-Digivolve shenanigans, lots of playing stuff out, lots of forcing them to attack in just to ace them. It's a really funny list. I've done some crazy things with it on DCGO. I even managed to make a blue armor player rage quit the other day, which was really satisfying with a list like this, just doing that to one of the best decks in the format. But yeah, it's really fun, and I can't wait to see how it does. I'm also thinking like Green Gacha would have been really cool, and I love Green Gacha, and in testing, Green Gacha tends to beat the shit out of this deck. But against the other decks that we've got, I feel like this is a good I feel good about this list, just because we've got some ways. Examon's so hard to deal with, attacking into it, but at least with this, we've got some ways of de-digivolving stuff, so we can kind of mitigate aces. The Lodiliamon will help against non-DNA aces in that regard. But yeah, it's a really cool list, and I've spent too long on it, as I always do with my own lists, because they're the ones I know the most about. Next one is our other borderline tier 2 deck, which is Sam's GigaSeadramon list. Now, he's been tinkering away with this, doing little changes and stuff like that. I think since the profile we did, he's bumped up Cool Boy to 4 copies, just so he can search all of his X antibody stuff. But of course, the issue of Cool Boy is it can whiff on the non-X antibody stuff. He's got the 1 copy of Omnimon X, and that is something that really is in his favour for this tournament, because none of these other decks can really field Omnimon X. And Omnimon X, in my opinion, is maybe something we need to think about removing from Jank Tank. But I don't know, but I think that's just my knee-jerk reaction to anything that can do a board wipe. It's just like, get rid of it. But I would never think it's bannable in normal Digimon. So I mean, who knows? If it's a problem at any point, then maybe we'll deal with it. But I think it's fine for the time being. He's got to get into it first at the end of the day. The GigaSeadramon is going to be really cool because of the D-Digivolve, the security attack +1, it can do unsuspend shenanigans. I mean, this deck's going to be pretty spooky. I really hope we get this versus Examon, because that would be a really interesting match. The Examon, of course, can punish Sam for attacking in, but likewise, GigaSeadramon can D-Digivolve stuff, so it can stop the ace before it ever comes about. It can bounce stuff with the Metal Seadramon ace, yeah, just a really cool list, and can't wait to see how it does. Then I believe this is our final list, and this one is the chef's kiss of janky stuff. Like, this is a properly janky list, and I love it. This is Will's Eosmon list. Now you'll notice there's no Morphomons in this Eosmon list, because he's gone for a Diaboromon base. So he's using the Sumemon, the Keramon, and the Kurisarimon. And the reason he's done that is because the way they're worded is all of them don't say if this Digimon is Diaboromon, or if all of your Digimon are called Diaboromon, or if something is played with Diaboromon in its name, we do this thing. It's if a Digimon with the same name as this Digimon is played, we get something. So because all of these Digimon, in the level 5 slot and level 6 slot are called Eosmon, you play them out. You can give them Rush with the Kurisarimon, you can give them Draws with the Keramon, you can get them DP with the Sumemon. It's just really funny. He's got the Ultra Ballistamon. I don't think this really serves much of a purpose. I think it does technically give us a protection effect, but the main reason I think it's in here is because it's green and black. He can Digivolve on top of these, and technically speaking, can Digivolve the Eosmon level 6 on top of that. So yeah, this is a really janky list, and I'm really interested to see how it does. I mean, there's some real heavy hitters in this Jank Tank, like Examon and stuff like that. So I feel like maybe this could get really hyper punished, but also likewise against something like my deck doesn't like going up against decks that go wide. So this could go mega wide and be a problem. Obviously the boosts, the only issue with those is those are going to whiff on all of your Eosmons, but obviously you've got loads of these Eosmons in the deck, so this will be a very interesting list, and is absolutely the jankiest one. If we gave prizes per every Jank Tank for which person brings in the jankiest list, Will would take that fucking trophy and run with it. Like, this is absolutely the jankiest thing in this tournament, and I hope it does really well. But we've definitely got some scary decks in this, but I think that is all of the lists. Yep, that's all of them. So my little arrow of power is no longer working. But yeah, that's all of our lists. If there are any other submissions, like late submissions, I will essentially put in a jump cut in here. Okay, I guess nothing happened, or maybe it did. Who knows? You will know. I will not, or do not right now. I will. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy Jank Tank 9. I'm going to try and bring it out all in one week again if I can. It's a lot of work doing these matches on my, on my own. I'm hoping Dan can help me out with this one, but I know he's been mega busy with his schedule. But yeah, we'll try and get it all out in 1 week as we normally do, but we might end up staggering it just to let you know in the event that I'm doing it on my lonesome. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed Jank Tank 9. We've been really looking forward to it, and we're in for a good time. Like, subscribe, and ding that notification bell so you're not missing out on the next episode of Jank Tank 9, which will be... I don't know what the match will be. It's on screen right now, and you can go see it when it comes out, I guess. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that match and the other subsequent matches as well, and we'll catch you then. But until then, keep it digital.